All right, shalom, shalom. This is your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, coming with another lesson through the Spirit. Lord willing, this be edifying to the Lord's elect. Before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone from I've grown in this truth under. Shalom to the Akim out there that's pushing the truth, that's laboring in the word, and is pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's soon to come. Shalom to the Akwath that's listening in, that's remaining true to the faith and remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands and guiding their children. And shalom to the hopeful elect, to the 12 tribes that scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, to you Israelite foreigners out there who live among the heathen and who look like those heathen nations. But your lineage goes back to the progenitors of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel through the line of your fathers. All right, I want to say peace and blessings to you all. Barakatham. Okay, so I wanted to deal with this video real quick. I got so much that I want to jump on, and my other channel is down, so that's going to be for quite some time. And this sums up pretty much of the sentiment that's basically going around in Babylon the Great. You know what I'm saying? Everyone can see that this thing is on its last legs. This empire, all right, or this kingdom is on its last legs, man. Esau's rulership is at its end. And everyone can feel this thing coming. Many are trying their hardest to be in denial, but they can't stay in that mode for very long. You see what I'm saying? Because all the things that are going around, all right, as a result of this decline, all the things that's happening overseas, all right, domestically, is hitting them where they are. You see what I'm saying? And what's happening is you have these Edomites who can see this, and they're losing their minds. You know what I'm saying? But on the other hand, you have the Israelites, you know what I'm saying, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians, you know what I'm saying, who can see this thing happening. And there's this, this sort of feel of, hey man, let it burn. You know what I'm saying? Let it go. All right. And there's a reason for this, man. All right. We're at the end of our captivity. You know what I'm saying? Even those who aren't even in this truth can feel that, the end of this chaos and this suffering is reaching its closure. So let's get into this video and grab some scriptures and bounce up out of here, man. All right, Lord willing, this be edifying.
Watching the fall of the American. So it's clear that we are watching the fall of the American empire in real time. And there is a stark difference in the way that the white community is responding and how the black community is responding. The black community en masse has completely withdrawn. They fought, they campaigned, they warned us, and we chose the orange man anyway. And they're out. The white community, on the other hand, is fighting. Those of us who aren't under Trump's spell. And there is this real sentiment that if we can just get Trump out of the way, then we can all get back to normal. But the thing is, that's not what God is doing. And I'm not a nihilist, but we're missing the point. The point is this white supremacist system has wreaked enough havoc. Enough. And God is judging it. And the fact that we are clinging so hard to it makes me wonder, what does the black community see that we don't? It's allowing them to totally let go, right?
There you go. That's the good question. You know what I'm saying? That's a good question. All right. And it's not something that that your average everyday so-called black person, all right, Hispanic, Native Indian can tell you. You know what I'm saying? But the prophets can give you a clear understanding as to why this mindset is occurring. All right. So let's get this started in the book of Second Esdras, chapter 6. All right, and verse 7. It reads, "Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him. Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." All right, and we're looking at the changing of the guard, if you will. All right, where one power is being replaced. All right, by another power. Okay, and that's the struggle, the eternal struggle between these two sons, Jacob and Esau. All right, that's what it's all about. It's not about these so-called Chinese, all right, these Moabites. It's not about the so-called Japanese, all right, the Arabs or the the Persians. It's not about anyone else. All right, it's not about anyone else. All these other nations are the NPCs, all right, or the side characters, I should say, the side characters, all right, the side characters. But the main characters are Jacob and Esau. Right now, Esau is finding out how the decline of his empire looks. Okay, they've had their time to rule throughout these different empires that they had. You know what I'm saying, that they held on to. And that would be those 7 heads that preceded this one. All right. From Greece to Rome to Germania Major, Germania Minor, to the French, the Spanish, and the British. All right. These empires, all right, made up the whole of Esau's rulership. All right. And this place, America, is its final legs of that rulership. Okay, and we're in the conclusion of that great statue that King Nebuchadnezzar had seen. Right? Let's go to Sirach chapter 10 and verse 3. It says, "An unwise king destroyeth his people." All right, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. All right, that goes into Proverbs, the 29th chapter, 2nd verse. You know what I'm saying? When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And right now we're seeing the latter and not the former. Okay, people are mourning right now. People are in disarray. People are being displaced. You know what I'm saying? Lives are being lost. You know what I'm saying? The earth is being mismanaged, has been mismanaged, you know what I'm saying, throughout these centuries. You understand? And so what we're about to see is that great equalizer, all right, where the Lord is going to balance this out. All right, let's go to here. Salakia, I just had the precept in mind. Let's go to Isaiah. All right, Isaiah. Call Lord Yahweh Shai. Isaiah chapter 24. All right. Isaiah chapter 24 and verse 4. It reads, "The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The hearty people of the earth do languish." Okay? So the earth is mourning, and as you can see, it's fading away. All right? It's fading away. You got animals that have been extinct throughout the last 30 years. You have bees in record low numbers. We have whales beaching themselves. Dolphins are now beaching themselves. You see what I'm saying? For the first time in history, we're seeing oar fish showing up all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Also known as doomsday fish. Um, you know what I'm saying? The ruining of the crops. All right. The pollution of the air, the water, so on and so forth. All right. As the elder Yashawamba says, we're experiencing the worst case scenario on the planet. You know what I'm saying? So what makes what makes these Israelites, he says black people, but we know that no one is black. All right. There are 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. You see what I'm saying? And so it's not just the southern kingdom that's that's in this mode of you know, what's the word, apathy, if you will. You know? So what we can see is a changing that has been anticipated for quite some time. You know? Let's go to Lamentations. All right, because our hope, we have a hope. All right, we have hope of something greater that's coming. Edom does not have that. These Edomites do not have it. All right now they're listening to all these facts coming out about who they were, you know what I'm saying, what they were doing in the so-called dark ages. All right, the fact that they didn't come with all these wonderful and miraculous ideas and inventions. You see what I'm saying? But they stole it. They stole it like they stole land. They stole it like they stole people, their identities. All right, people's people's land masses. You see, this generation is finding out that their glory days of the past were not righteous or virtuous. You see what I'm saying? They were not righteous and they were not virtuous. All right, but they were treacherous. You see? There's nothing to look forward to in that. To know that all of this that you enjoy and that you love to gloat in, to find out that it was all stolen. It wasn't earned. It wasn't earned. It was taken. All right? What does that do to you? You know what I'm saying? Looking forward. You know that there's Salakia. So when you think about what it is that's promised to the children of Israel, you know what I'm saying? Because there was no hope amongst so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians, real talk, you know what I'm saying? There was no hope until the Lord raised up his prophets. You know what I'm saying? Until the Lord brought forth that hope, you know what I'm saying, back to them. You know what I'm saying? As it said in the book of Malachi, that the Lord will bring, that the Lord will bring back Elijah the prophet, you know what I'm saying, to bring back the sons of the heart of the sons to the hearts of the fathers. You know what I'm saying? Let me get this real quick in Malachi. All right, let's see. All right, so this is Malachi chapter 4 and verse 5. It reads, "Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord." All right, and we believe that man Elijah was Elder Abba Bivens. All right, because he was the one that began to bridge the Hebrew with the Old and New Testament, okay, and understanding that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians are joint heirs of the tribes, all right, the tribes of Yasher Allah, you know what I'm saying? And so he was the first one to bring that understanding forth, all right. And so, from Elder Abba Bivens, went went the ones that he taught, which were High Priest Ariah, High Priest Yaquab, King Masha. You know what I'm saying? And of them came the seven, and of them came, all right, the many men who followed, all right, and learned the correct breakdowns, learned the truth. You know what I'm saying? And from the branch off, the truth was continued forward in GMS, Great Millstone. All right. And here we remain occupied in prophecy. And as the result of their labors, brought in our bishops, all right, and brought in our elders, and then from there brought forth the brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? And through the preaching of this word, all right, the truth has gone forth throughout the four corners, man. You see what I'm saying? So it's not just so-called black people who have a hope, all right, who are able to let go of this place, but it's all the tribes. You see? So again, Malachi chapter 4, verse 5, behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And we can see that that great and dreadful day is fast approaching. All right, verse 6, and he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. All right, and that's going into the children of Israel remembering who they were. You know what I'm saying? In Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 7, you know what I'm saying? Ask of thy fathers, and they will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. You know what I'm saying? Go into Baruch real quick. Salaki. I'm tripping today. Where's Baruch? All right, here we go. Baruch chapter 2, and let's start at verse 30. It says, for I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves, all right, and shall know that I am the Lord their power. For I will give them an heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord. All right. And that's what the scriptures mean when it says that he would that the return of Elijah the prophet, all right, would bridge forth, you know what I'm saying, or bring back the understanding or the remembrance, the hearts of the sons to the fathers, and hearts of the fathers to the sons, meaning we can remember now the ways of old, all right, and we can turn back and amend our ways, repent, okay, and call on the true name of our Heavenly Father and through his beloved Son. You know what I'm saying? And we would have a way back through our mediator, which is Yahushua. Okay? And that is the role of the prophets. The prophets are meant to bring forth the words of the Lord. Okay? And this is why our people have this feel of, you know, hey, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter to us. It's nonchalant. It's you know, it's that sense of apathy, all right, where we literally just don't care. You know what I'm saying? And that's just to the average everyday Jake. You know what I'm saying? That's the average everyday Jake. The hopeful elect are actively praying for this place to be destroyed. You see what I'm saying? Because we know what comes next. We know that there's a new heaven and a new earth that's coming. You see? We have that sure word of prophecy through the preaching of the words from the Lord's true prophets. This is Lamentations chapter 21 and verse chapter 4 and verse 21, excuse me. It says, "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked." All right, so he's saying, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because your time of rulership is coming to a close, man. So live it up. Enjoy it while it lasts, which, as we can see now, they're incapable of enjoying the last bits of their kingdom. They're incapable of enjoying it now. You see? It was cool when everything was on the up and up and up. You know what I'm saying? From the 1800s to the 1900s. All right? Everything was cool. But ever since like 2012 onward, you know what I'm saying, things have just been going downhill, man. You know? Actually, I could say even earlier than that, like the early 2000s, you know what I'm saying? Things just really started to dive off. All right? And the beginning of this downfall really started when this devil decided to proclaim to the world that they made they made it onto the moon. All right? So, you know, this is where it is. This is where it is. It says, verse 22, "The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion." This is our hope. You see what I'm saying? This is where we're happy at. You know what I'm saying? We have that good news. "The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion." All right? And the only way for you to understand these prophecies and what they're speaking about, you have to first understand who is talking to. You see? If you think that these jokers over there, these JOOs over there in the Holy Land right now are the people that this is talking about, well, then you're gonna have a warped understanding of prophecy. All right? So it says, "The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins." And that's what these Edomites are experiencing right now. All right? They have to see as they themselves are being found out. Okay? As the scriptures say, the children shall complain of an ungodly father. You know? Because they will be reproved for his sake. And these, this generation of Edomites, they're not happy because they have to pay for the sins of their fathers, man. The world is looking at them, okay, as in you're the culprit. You're the one who's behind all of this, right? And that goes into Habakkuk. All right, this is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 16. "Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory." You see? This is what you're being forced to deal with in these final hours of your rulership. You know what I'm saying? Everything is falling apart right before your eyes. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at America lose all of its allies. America is losing its influence around the world. All right, the false narrative of America being the good guy, being the righteous one, the virtuous one, is no longer there. You know what I'm saying? And so, to see this thing unfolding, they have no hope to look forward to, man. All right. Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. It reads, Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you even with a sore destruction. All right. So we know that this is not rest. We know that we have something greater coming. Real quick. Let's go to Hebrews. All right, Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 14. It reads, For here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come. And that's what we're here for. You know what I'm saying? We're waiting for the future of a better day, you know what I'm saying, a better living, better experience. You see? Let me see. All right. Isaiah chapter 61 and verse 1. It says, The Spirit of the Lord Yahweh is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord Yahweh and the day of vengeance of our power, to comfort all that mourn, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, for the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord Yahweh, that he might be glorified. All right, you go ahead, you read Isaiah the 60th chapter. You know what I'm saying? It goes into it. Letting it be known that great things are coming for us, and our enemies will be under our feet. You see? Let me go to Isaiah chapter 4. All right, Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 2. In that day shall the branch of the Lord be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. All right? So we got great things that's coming, man. So we can look forward to that. We can look forward to a future, because it's clear to those of us that are in this truth. Why? Because we have a more sure word of prophecy, and that's what keeps us stable. Isaiah chapter 33 verse 6. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. The strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure. That's what we have. We have the treasure, all right, that can't be bought. You know what I'm saying? We got the type of treasure, all right, that these devils wish they had. You know what I'm saying? They wish they had access to. We have the covenants. We have the promises. We have the giving of the law. We have the service of the Lord, man. You see? First, this is 2 Peter chapter 1 and verse 19. We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well, that ye take heed, as unto a light that shineth in the dark place, until the day dawn, and the day star arise in your hearts. You see? So we have a more sure word of prophecy that keeps us stable. We're able to see these things through. All right, you Edomites, you don't have that hope. You don't have that promise. All right, you had your fun. You had your rulerships. You enjoyed your time. All right, as is written in Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter. And you know that your end is near. So this is why we're able to look at what's happening, and we're able to accept it wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying? Fully. So I'm going to cut that there. I pray this lesson was edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. This has been your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. In closing, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who teach well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.